Before I begin, I'd like to show my respect and acknowledge the traditional custodians of the lands where our physical meeting takes place, the Gadigal people of the Eora Nation, who have been forcibly removed and continue to struggle to assert their rights and sovereignty today. My gratitude to the organizers of the Digital Sexualities panel for including me with the amazing projects across the three sessions today. I also started a GoFundMe campaign with hopes of joining you physically in Sydney, but alas, I was only able to raise enough for the conference registration. I promise to acknowledge those in my networks that donated: Rebecca Kleiner, Xiaolin Mei, Irina Alejo, and Doctors Lilian Villaraza, Noah Terriot, Robert G. Diaz, and Xavier Hernandez. I also lift up the countless mentors, colleagues, research participants, at ang pamilya ko sa Estados Unidos at sa Maynila that make this research possible. The ethnographic fictions I share with you today are based on participation and observation in several mobile phone digital media platforms between a 12-month stay period in Metro Manila, the national capital region of the Philippines, and Los Angeles, California. The names I use today are pseudonyms I chose and approved by study participants. Um, Today, I wanted to think through some data toward a chapter in my larger dissertation project titled The Promise of Intimacy, where I analyze the social traffic of digital media use among gay Filipinos and its ties to social and material hierarchies in and between the homeland and the diaspora. During my time in Metro Manila, reports of HIV infections increased every month. Local, regional, and international media placed blame on the fervent use of mobile dating apps among young people for the spikes in sexually transmitted infections, or STIs, around the region. Because of that, I began to note app user practices and interactions, particular to references about HIV and STIs, what Albury et al. Calls cultures of use and vernacular data science, and how they may or may not align to the technologically deterministic declarations from multiple actors. I'm still trying to determine how this information may work perhaps within a framework of affective world-making, and I look forward to your thoughts and feedback after the presentation. Sometime in mid-October 2017, at a cafe in Los Angeles, California, I received a message from Reynard, a 29-year-old Philippine government employee who lives and works in Quezon City, Manila. We met on Growler, the Bear social network, when I was based in Manila during the first half of 2017. Growler is a social app available for download on mobile devices where members are able to send and receive messages, pictures, and videos to others on the app. The company launched in 2010 and boasts of over 10 million members worldwide. The location-based app allows members to search profiles locally and around the world, purchase app-sponsored merchandise, and learn about local and transnational social gatherings that target the gay bear community. A special pay option feature of Growler is called a flash. For a fee between 5, 10, 20 US dollars, the app will unlock a member's private media and alert other members within a specific area. The cost corresponds to the distance from the phone's geolocative signal, 5, 10, 20 miles respectively. Growler users may elect to include a public photo on their profile as well as include several private photos that may be unlocked based on user discretion. Now, Reynard told me that he just received a flash message from a Growler member that featured pictures of someone he had chatted with a few weeks prior. The photo included a message claiming that the couple featured in the image had exposed that Growler member to HIV, and now they have tested zero positive. The member on the photo included in the flash had invited Reynard for casual sex, but Reynard decided not to accept the offer. Reynard added, "I could have been that guy, you know." Reynard did not know the Growler member who unlocked the private media. I asked him to message the app member for more information, but by that time the profile had disappeared. We assumed that the member deleted their profile because Reynard was unable to find them on his message queue. We were also unable to search for the member because we didn't note any identifiers before our conversation. HIV stigmatization among gay, bisexual, and trans communities in the Philippines persist through lack of proper sexual education, access to medical resources, and ongoing social conservatisms toward the greater LGBTQ community. This stigmatization works in tandem with international health organizations linking gay dating app use with the rise of sexually transmitted infections throughout Asia among youth populations. UNAIDS and the Philippine Health Ministry report that the Philippines recorded the fastest growing HIV/AIDS epidemic in the Asia Pacific in the past 6 years, with a 140% increase in new infections. In May 2017 alone, nearly 1,100 new cases of HIV infections were reported in the Philippines, the highest recorded number of cases since 1984, when infections were first reported. 83% of new HIV cases occurred among males who have sex with males and transgender women who have sex with males. While, with such an atmosphere looming in the Philippines, HIV education and advocacy became popular among public figures. During the 2015 Miss Universe Final Questions segment, eventual winner and Philippine representative Pia Alonso Wurzbach said that she would use the crown to educate youth and raise awareness to certain causes like HIV that is timely and relevant to her country. In 2017, Wurzbach was appointed UNAIDS Goodwill Ambassador for Asia and the Pacific. Her popularity among youth populations and her large social media following were cited as key reasons why she was an excellent candidate for speaking up against discrimination towards people living with HIV. Seemingly visible campaigns such as Wurzbach's overshadow the long-standing and ongoing work of local and transnational networks providing resources on the ground. According to Adrian, a former Philippine Department of Health employee, there are complex institutional and social configurations in implementing a quality HIV education and prevention program in Manila. NGOs work hard, he said, but there is no unifying voice. Organizations such as Red Whistle, Love Yourself, Positive Action Foundation Philippines, and AIDS Society of the Philippines continue to create engaging campaigns despite the lack of state support in sexual education, but they continue to work independently from one another. Adrian also praised the highly successful programs within Quezon City, the most populated segment of Metro Manila. This is due to Quezon City's legislation and groundwork that includes 6 social hygiene clinics that are open 24 hours and 7 days a week, where people can get free HIV testing and antiretroviral drug treatment, in addition to free counseling and testing near and around the city's cruising spots, as well as government policies such as a gender fairness ordinance, a peer education ordinance, and an HIV/AIDS council. Even though on-the-ground campaigns in Manila continue to gain visibility and support, online discourses among gay Filipinos and digital media platforms are not as vibrant. With the exception of a 2012 campaign where dating app Hornet teamed up with Love Yourself Inc. to remind its users to know your status, a large-scale online HIV advocacy campaign has been lacking. Among mobile app user profiles, declarative textual statements pertaining to HIV and other sexually transmitted diseases often revolve around the concept of cleanliness. Apart from questions like, "Are you clean?" discussions about HIV and other STIs fall away. In a 2018 study by Jan de Lint van Windgaten et al., gay and other men who have sex with men in Metro Manila did not see the need to get tested for HIV despite significant risk, based on the misconception they were feeling well or showed no symptoms. Study participants expressed plenty of misconceptions about HIV risk, the disease, as well as treatment and care. These direct communicative practices establish particular norms that app users reference while talking about sex, sexuality, and desirability on and offline. Among the many headless torsos and abstract images of dating app profiles I read and examined in Manila, I wanted to share and highlight Andre's Grindr profile. His profile did not include a personal image, but declared as its headline, HIV positive. It was well into the 3rd month of my research time in Manila when I came across his profile. I asked him why he chose to publicly disclose his HIV status. Andre learned he was HIV positive after a required medical exam for employment at a five-star hotel chain in Manila came back with a positive hepatitis B result. Quote, I used Grindr for pleasure, he said. Every day off ko, kailangan makasex ako. But when I found out that I'm positive, I deleted my account and changed it sa account ko ngayon. Andre was surprised with the warm welcome he received from this new account, stating that he was HIV positive. Quote, no one ever bullied me here, he added. Actually, a lot of HIV positive guys here also messaged me telling me that they are positive, but they didn't want to announce it. He continues to use Grindr while, quote, looking for someone to love me. Now, earlier this week, I checked in with Andre and he said that he's never been better. Quote, I'm healthier and stronger than I was before. Feminist and queer studies scholar Sarah Ahmed argues that in the circulation of discourse, certain feelings and emotions leave traces on the surfaces of bodies, both individual and collective, that travel through time and space. She writes, emotions do things, and they align individuals with communities or bodily space with social space through the very intensity of their attachments. Rather than seeing emotions as psychological dispositions, we need to consider how they work in concrete and particular ways to mediate the relationship between the psychic and the social, and between the individual and the collective. This affective world-making approach activates disparate bonds in response to ideas and things from both human and non-human actors. I find this potentially working through Reynard's story from the mysterious Growler member who shared a flash message. Reynard demonstrated both a sense of fear from uncertainty as well as relief for the decision not to meet with the Growler member featured in the flash message. As anthropologist and queer of color scholar Shaka McLaughlin demonstrates in his analysis of the web archive douchebagsofgrindr.com, there seems to be a cathartic experience in the possibility of speaking back when direct communication is foreclosed. This creative practice may allow for the possibility of a corrective response, but they also cement or make permanent these statements. The trauma of one group becomes remediated and potentially transferred to another group, reproducing affective resonances that further entrench shame in queer modern subjectivities. In fact, in November 2017, the Philippine Drug Enforcement Agency, or PDEA, arrested 11 men who were engaged in an orgy at a hotel in one of Manila's upscale neighborhoods, Bonifacio Global City. Citing the current Philippine administration's drug war, PDEA seized illegal drugs from the room and publicly disclosed and circulated the HIV-positive status of one of the suspects. This was a breach of privacy in violation of the Philippines AIDS Prevention and Control Act of 1998, one of the first in the world to outline what HIV discrimination, education, and awareness entailed. PDEA was publicly scrutinized for its actions, but the information had already been circulated. These actions reinforce stigma attached to the LGBTQ community and those people living with HIV. But in the case of Andre's declarative profile headline, HIV positive, his relationship to the dating app or platform and its users changed over time. From a site to seek pleasure, to a source of shame, and now to a place of solidarity with other Filipinos living with HIV, Andre provides us with another example of the messiness of digital life. Reynard and Andre are living up to a promise outside a prescribed HIV advocacy and education narrative alongside state, media, and NGO actors. Attention towards situated human-machine configurations outside the global north may lead to further inquiries that reveal simultaneous alliances, contingencies, and other-worlding possibilities as these actors continue to evolve and innovate in multiple times and spaces. Thank you.